What's up guys, welcome back. This is Anime Crossover. You'll be watching What If Naruto Was Married to the Goddess of Death in Marvel Part 13. Now, let's begin. Currently, the Celestial Group had nearly taken over the entire sky above the Earth. This situation occurred despite the fact that these Celestials were not large in size. A number of individuals within the Celestial Group possessed a size that could be likened to that of planets. If such a presence were to manifest, the Earth may struggle to contain it. With the Celestial's attention fixed on him, Naruto maintained a composed expression. He exuded confidence. Despite Naruto's presence, even Hela couldn't resist the urge to hold his hand. After sensing Hela's unease, Naruto gently grasped her hand and offered her a comforting gaze. Observing this, Hela also gradually regained her composure. It's understandable that she would feel anxious and concerned after encountering numerous Celestials, given that her abilities are not on par with Naruto's. Indeed, she stood apart from the superheroes. She was well aware of the immense influence wielded by the Celestial Group. This was a formidable opponent that posed a significant challenge. Despite possessing 4 Infinity Stones, she remained uncertain of her ability to overcome them. However, upon seeing Naruto's self-assured expression, Hela made the decision to place her trust in him. This was the level of trust that the two had cultivated over their extensive partnership. Simultaneously, the Celestial Group was also closely monitoring Naruto. A member of the Celestial Group, with a striking resemblance to a human but towering over 4 meters in height, gracefully descended before Naruto. He was highly skilled and accomplished in his role as a Celestial. His power was awe-inspiring. Hela found herself under immense pressure from this Celestial, surpassing even her previous encounters with Dormammu. Dormammu was a formidable force in the Dark Dimension, and his power extended throughout the Marvel Universe. Nevertheless, this Celestial possessed even greater strength than Dormammu. Unforeseen variable, you have guided the universe towards an uncertain conclusion. However, your journey has reached its conclusion. Even in your absence, there is still potential for improvement. Upon arriving in front of Naruto, this individual from the Celestial Group made no effort to hide their animosity. The Celestial Group arrived on Earth with the intention of eliminating Naruto. At the Celestial Group, strict adherence to their meticulously crafted script is paramount. Just like Thanos snapping his finger, which was a planned part of the script. The script had also endorsed Thanos' supposed destiny. However, with Naruto's presence, Thanos stood no chance of executing his finger snap. Because Thanos was no match for Naruto's power. The Celestial Group took it upon themselves to rectify this variable, ensuring that the story could resume its original course. This was the primary factor that led to Naruto being targeted by the Celestial Group in Asgard. On this occasion, the Celestial Group and Thanos joined forces. They were determined to achieve the goal that had eluded them before. Upon careful consideration, Naruto came to the realization that he might potentially emerge as the most formidable antagonist within this universe. Due to significant alterations made to the original story, the Celestial Group understandably had no tolerance for him. Nevertheless, Naruto had no concerns about being singled out by the Celestial Group. If it were one of the 5 great gods, maybe I would still experience a certain level of pressure. If it's only your team, it may not be sufficient. Naruto calmly stated to the Celestial Group, speaking with a matter-of-fact tone. However, the Celestial Group found it incomprehensible. Up until now, Naruto's most notable achievement was successfully fending off Galactus, even though Galactus wasn't at his full power. This record did not leave a strong impression. From the standpoint of the Celestial Group, it can be argued that while Naruto may have possessed considerable power, it was not sufficient to be considered truly formidable. The Celestial Group was undeterred by such a presence. One of the 5 gods. Do you think you're deserving of the direct intervention of those 5 deities? You will face the consequences of your actions, as a responsible individual. This situation has been ongoing for quite some time. Everything is now back on track. The individual with expertise will confidently snap that finger, rendering all the alterations you have made insignificant. Asgard's downfall is inevitable, leaving little hope for its future prosperity. The 9 realms are meant to be a testing ground, and that fact remains unchanged. Confident individual who is unaware of our fear. One who observes the sky from a secluded spot may perceive themselves as formidable. That is quite absurd. Upon hearing Naruto's words, the Celestial Group started to ridicule him. the Celestials found Naruto's words to be unfounded. He believed he was on par with the five gods. The five gods were the sole eternal beings throughout all the ages. Thus, in their perspective, Naruto was perceived as a conceited individual. Naruto was unfazed by the ridicule from the celestial group. Words may hold little significance, but true power never wavers. It would soon become evident if he was at the level of five gods or not. Despite the Celestials' mocking, Naruto gazed at Thanos. Interestingly, Naruto found himself more captivated by Thanos. This individual was highly driven, with a strong sense of purpose and a relentless work ethic to accomplish their objectives. When faced with such a formidable adversary, it was necessary to take decisive action and eliminate the threat without hesitation. Otherwise, there was a strong possibility that he would stage a comeback in the future. He was skilled at recognizing and capitalizing on opportunities, whether they presented themselves or not. Thus, it was Naruto's intention to eliminate Thanos from the start. Recognizing the gravity of his upcoming battle against the Celestials, Naruto was determined to eliminate Thanos before his departure. Regrettably, Thanos anticipated Naruto's intentions and swiftly took cover behind the Celestials. Consequently, Naruto was unable to eliminate him right away. Naruto could only gaze at Hela with a sense of powerlessness. The message conveyed through his eyes was unmistakable. He requested her assistance in eliminating Thanos. Hela grasped Naruto's perspective and gave a confirming nod. She understood that Thanos, being such a formidable individual, could not be exempted. In addition, Hela's immense power, whether it stemmed from her own capabilities or the possession of multiple Infinity Stones, made her more than capable of overpowering Thanos single-handedly. Hela may have some reservations when it comes to handling the Celestials, but she possesses unwavering assurance when it comes to confronting Thanos. Naruto wasted no time in taking action. With great skill, he effortlessly cast the mirror space spell, drawing in all the celestial beings that surrounded him. If their conflict took place outside of the mirror space, let alone on Earth, it would have catastrophic consequences for the entire solar system. The previously busy sky returned to its clear state as the Celestials departed. The situation on the field also brought about adjustments. Now it was a battle between Thanos and Hela. With the defeat of Naruto's greatest adversary, the path ahead seemed clear. Thanos approached Hela with a double-edged sword in a deliberate manner. Two powerful Infinity Stones gleamed on the left hand of Thanos. Hela displayed a fearless attitude. Her attire encompassed her entire form, and a weapon materialized within her grasp. The four Infinity Stones in Hela's hand were not concealed at this time. They were focused on Hela. This epic clash unfolded between Hela and Thanos, two formidable collectors of Infinity Stones. Both parties remained tight-lipped. It was a highly critical situation. So Hela promptly engaged in a battle with Thanos. The superheroes and the five Obsidian generals engaged in a fierce battle against Thanos. At that moment, the battlefield erupted with intense commotion and violence. The primary focus of the conflict centered on Hela and Thanos. When the two of them collided, Hela swiftly overpowered Thanos. Hela's strength surpassed that of Thanos without a doubt. Upon the commencement of their altercation, Hela swiftly severed Thanos' double-edged sword using the blade she wielded. This weapon, which had the capability to overpower Captain America's shield, proved to be highly susceptible to Hela's sword. At the critical moment, when Hela was on the verge of striking Thanos' chest with her sword, Thanos ultimately succumbed to the irresistible power of the Infinity Stones. The Power Stone in Thanos' left hand began to emit a brilliant glow. Suddenly, a powerful surge of vibrant purple energy surged forth from the stone, hurtling directly towards Hela. Hela was constantly in motion. Her body harnessed Odin's power, transforming it into a formidable shield that deflected the attack. Due to the force of the Power Stone, Hela was forcefully propelled several hundred meters backwards. A tunnel filled with vibrant purple energy materialized between Hela and Thanos. Is this the power that the Power Stone possesses? It's not a significant matter. Hela emerged unscathed. She confidently brandished the sword in her hand as she addressed Thanos. Thanos' expression turned somber. Hela's strength far surpassed his expectations. Despite not utilizing the Infinity Stones, Hela possesses the capability to effortlessly handle the two Infinity Stones. Thanos felt immense pressure from Hela's incredible strength. Nevertheless, the conflict was far from over at this point, leaving room for Thanos to emerge victorious. One of his strengths lay in his ability to harness the full potential of the Infinity Stones through the use of the Infinity Gauntlet. Unlike Hela, who had to gradually develop it. While Hela was engaged in a confrontation with Thanos, the rest of the group was also engaged in combat. Iron Man and Human Torch engaged in a fierce battle against the Ebony Maw, but unfortunately, they were unable to overcome their adversary's power. The initial leader of Thanos' Dark Order was incredibly intimidating. His formidable mental prowess could easily overpower the armor of Iron Man. With a simple gesture, he could effortlessly decimate a formidable earthly army. The fireball emitted by the Human Torch could be deflected with a simple wave of his hand. Furthermore, Captain America, Winter Soldier, and the Black Panther united to battle against General Deathblade and Corvus Glaive. However, their circumstances remained highly disadvantageous as General Deathblade wielded an exceedingly perilous weapon, making them completely outmatched. From afar, Hulk engaged in an intense battle with the Black Dwarf, one of the 5 Obsidian generals. The two formidable creatures were locked in a fierce brawl. The Hulk leaped onto the back of Black Dwarf, delivering a powerful blow. However, he was ultimately overpowered and thrown off. Their conflict was highly intense. There was nobody else present in the midst of the battlefield where these two colossal creatures clashed. Both the Earth's army and Thanos' vanguard were engaged in a fierce battle, keeping a safe distance from each other. They were concerned about the potential impact of the clash between these two formidable creatures. This conflict quickly became a brutal and relentless battle. Countless individuals were losing their lives every single moment. Let's revisit Naruto. Surrounded by the members of the Celestial Group, Naruto found himself in a mirrored space. These formidable figures were more awe-inspiring than the deities of Asgard. These were the gods that held dominion over the entire universe. Nevertheless, Naruto showed no signs of fear. He exuded unwavering assurance in his abilities. Furthermore, there was an insurmountable conflict between Naruto and the Celestial Group, so Naruto had no intention of holding back. Let's give it a try and discover the true extent of my current abilities. Naruto was filled with anticipation. Since acquiring the Silver Superman body template, Naruto had yet to give his utmost effort. He had high expectations for the members of the Celestial Group, hoping they would possess the strength to endure for an extended period of time. Considering this, Naruto took a deep breath. If this action were performed on Earth, it would have had a significant impact on the atmosphere. Then Naruto unleashed a chilling breath from his mouth. Right after that, the mirror space experienced a sudden gust of wind and a significant drop in temperature. The members of the Celestial Group closest to Naruto underwent a gradual transformation, each one adopting a new expression. It was clear that they had recognized an issue. However, by the time they attempted to create some separation from him, it was already too late. As Naruto exhaled, a chilling breath filled the air. Several individuals from the Celestial Group were suddenly frozen. They were unable to showcase their abilities and ended up frozen in place like sculptures. The Celestials utilized the energy within their bodies to create a defensive barrier, allowing them to evade the impending disaster. Nevertheless, they were ultimately carried a great distance and vanished entirely. This mirror space, created by Naruto, was of a superior quality, far surpassing that of an ordinary mirror space. Even if Yao were to personally attend, it would still leave her astounded. This mirror space differed from Earth in that it encompassed a significant portion of the universe. It's possible that the Celestials who were defeated by Naruto could be on the outskirts of the mirror space right now. With remarkable skill, Naruto effortlessly vanquished an overwhelming number of Celestials in a single breath. Only a small fraction of them stayed in front of Naruto. The remaining Celestials were the most formidable members of the Celestial Group. However, in this moment, these formidable Celestials were also filled with fear. With a single breath, Naruto effortlessly decimated the entire Celestial Group. The sheer magnitude of the destructive power was absolutely terrifying. Initially, they believed Naruto's strength surpassed Dormammu's, but it turned out to be even greater. Although Naruto's strength may not be on par with the five gods, the difference wouldn't be significant. Upon this realization, the celestial group's attitude underwent a significant change. It was replaced by a level of seriousness that was never seen before. Then, without hesitation, they seized the initiative and charged towards Naruto. Without hesitation, the Celestials unleashed a barrage of cosmic rays, each radiating a unique hue, directly at Naruto. With ease, Naruto effortlessly dodged these cosmic rays and unleashed his maximum velocity. Time seemed to freeze in an instant. The Celestials' expressions appeared to be frozen in time. In this serious situation, they had a look of fear on their faces, which was quite amusing. Naruto was incredibly efficient. He swiftly moved towards the closest Celestial with determination. The Celestial possessed a unique appearance with its purple skin and 4 arms. He appeared incredibly skilled and capable. Naruto speculated that the Celestials probably belonged to the Eternal Race. The Eternal Race held immense power within the vast expanse of the universe, and one of its esteemed members was none other than Thanos. In addition, the founder of the Celestial Group happened to be Eternity, one of the 5 gods. This was not a mere happenstance, but a purposeful design of Eternity. The Celestial Group was known for their extensive work in biological experiments. This was widely known by everyone in the universe. The Earth was once the testing ground for the Celestial Group's biological experiments. In addition to Earth, numerous planets in the vast universe have also served as sites for the Celestial Group's extensive biological experiments. Their experiment focused solely on creating a new, formidable species. This species belonged to the Eternal Race. Thanos was a member of the Eternal Race and widely regarded as one of the most formidable beings. In addition to Thanos, the Eternal Race boasted numerous formidable beings. As an illustration, a significant majority of the Celestials' members hailed from the Eternal Race. It was easy to see why the Celestial Group was interested in conducting biological experiments. Their experiments were conducted with the goal of enhancing the capabilities of the Eternal Race and forging a more formidable Eternal Race. In order to enhance the strength of the Celestial Group, the founder of the Celestial Group was Eternity, one of the 5 gods. The Eternal Race was also known as the Eternity Race. It was easy to comprehend the reason behind the abundance of superheroes and abnormal-level masters among the human race. The human body in the Marvel Universe contains a specific amount of the Eternal Race's genes, which can be traced back to one of the 5 gods, Eternity. Naruto acquired this perspective in Asgard. Asgard had conducted extensive research in this field, with Odin himself personally observing both humans and the Eternal Race. This was the primary factor that led Odin to oppose the Celestial Group's plans to use Earth as a site for biological experimentation. If the Celestial Group were to achieve their goals on Earth, it would have an impact on Asgard's standing in the 9 realms. In ancient times, Odin engaged in a conflict with the Celestial Group, driven by his desire to prevent the rise of a formidable new race, the Eternal Race on Earth. His motivations were not rooted in safeguarding humanity, but rather in his own concerns. And now, Naruto is determined to prevent the Celestial Group from having their way. He refused to allow them to turn the Earth into a breeding ground for the Eternal Race. Due to the animosity between him and the Celestial Group, it was a straightforward matter. In this particular scenario where time seemed to stand still, Naruto swiftly reached the closest Celestial. Naruto observed a clear display of fear and panic on the faces of the Celestial Group. When faced with unbeatable adversaries, even the most powerful and esteemed Celestials were just like regular individuals. Without any hesitation, Naruto swiftly extended his hand and applied a strong twist, instantly incapacitating the Celestial. They were all adversaries anyway, and Naruto showed no mercy towards them whatsoever. A highly effective approach to dealing with adversaries is to sever their connections to their foundations. With ease, Naruto swiftly moved on to the next target after defeating a Celestial. Due to Naruto's exceptional speed, time seemed to come to a standstill, rendering it meaningless in this particular moment. The Celestial Group was unable to respond to Naruto's lethal actions. However, just as Naruto believed he had the upper hand in defeating the Celestial group, a member of their ranks approached him with uncanny precision, seemingly defying the laws of time itself. This individual had a distinct appearance, boasting a purple complexion and standing at an impressive height of approximately 8 meters. Notably, there were several barbs protruding from their back. He was the most powerful Celestial out of all the others. His ability to move at this moment indicated that the gap in strength between him and Naruto was relatively small. He could barely keep up with Naruto's speed, at the very least. Naruto was intrigued and quickly approached the member of the Celestial group. On this occasion, Naruto refrained from utilizing any of his techniques. Instead, he opted for the most straightforward and aggressive approach: hand-to-hand combat. Naruto, equipped with the Silver Superman and the ancient Doomsday body template, fearlessly faced any physical challenge that came his way. Roar! The Celestial quickly charged at Naruto, emitting a fierce roar in an attempt to intimidate him. Simultaneously, his demeanor exuded a formidable intensity. His gaze was intense and predatory, as if he could devour Naruto whole. A massive hand, resembling the size of a car, reached out towards Naruto with its 5 fingers gleaming ominously. Based on his demeanor, it was clear that he had a strong desire to harm Naruto. Naruto failed to dodge. Instead, he tightly balled up his hand and forcefully launched it forward. With a resounding thud, the palm of this eternal race individual suffered severe damage, causing the bones within to shatter completely. The force of Naruto's punch shattered all 5 of his fingers. The physique of Silver Superman was truly exceptional. Silver Superman is impervious to any physical attack. An ordinary Celestial would not pose a threat to him. Immediately after the Celestial's scream, Naruto swiftly delivered a powerful punch to his chest. With a powerful impact, Naruto forcefully damaged the chest of the Celestial, causing significant fractures. The back of this Celestial appeared to be raised. Several fractures pierced his skin and protruded from his physique. Then he flew out, causing damage to a few unfortunate Celestials along the way. With precision and expertise, he soared beyond the confines of the planet's atmosphere and skillfully navigated his way into the very heart of the neighboring Celestial body. It's quite impressive to think about the impact of Naruto's punch. This may appear complex, but it occurred within a remarkably short period. From the perspective of the other Celestials, Naruto vanished and then reappeared in an instant. Simultaneously, one of their colleagues took flight, leaving them uncertain of his distance. This was Naruto's current speed, which was incredibly difficult to comprehend. Even after incapacitating the opponent, Naruto continued his assault without hesitation. He observed the other Celestials, their eyes filled with shock and fear, as a chilling smile formed at the edge of his lips. Then, his gaze intensified, and 2 scorching beams erupted, swiftly extinguishing their lives. As Naruto maintained his focused gaze, the intense beams of red light pierced through the members of the Celestial group. No matter the immense power and strength of these Celestials, the scorching rays inevitably led to their demise. Due to the intense heat emitted by Naruto's rays, matter can be disintegrated at the atomic level. In theory, Naruto has the ability to melt any substance in the universe. Everything that came into contact with these rays perished. Celestials were not exempt. We must take immediate action to prevent a catastrophic outcome. Some individuals maintained composure during this critical moment and cautioned those around them. They couldn't tolerate Naruto's reckless killing any longer. They were compelled to launch a counter-offensive. Otherwise, none of them would be able to survive. A number of individuals in the Celestial group had encountered intense conflicts. They demonstrated exceptional courage and made the morally correct decision despite their fears. That was to counter Naruto's attack. Otherwise, if they were to flee, they would only expose their back to the enemy, which would undoubtedly lead to their demise. That was the correct decision. However, the Celestials seemed to overlook the significant power disparity between the 2 groups. Against overwhelming power, their efforts were rendered futile. They simply wanted to find a dignified way to end their lives. Next, a group of Celestials fearlessly approached Naruto despite his scorching rays. It's possible that the cosmic ray materialized in their hand, or perhaps it was a technologically advanced weapon created by the Celestial Group, or even a powerful weapon crafted from a combination of different alloys. This was a powerful counterattack by the Celestial Group. If Naruto couldn't be defeated in this manner, then all of them would truly be left with no choice but to await their demise. In the face of the Celestial Group's counterattack, Naruto remained unfazed as the scorching ray came to a halt. Then Naruto confidently raised his hands and clapped. With a sudden burst, an indescribable and chilling sound wave emanated from Naruto's hand. The atmosphere surrounding Naruto was on the brink of being shattered. The surface of the water was undulating with gentle ripples. Regarding the individuals from the Celestial Group who were approaching Naruto, their bodies were engulfed by the force of the sound wave, resulting in a violent explosion. Numerous bodies were pulverized, and the air became saturated with a mist of blood. This was clearly an unfair fight. Naruto's immense strength proved insurmountable for the Celestial Group, leaving them no chance to contend with him. The sound wave produced by a clap was an extremely catastrophic event. The sound wave shattered the planet beneath Naruto's feet. The Earth's crust experienced a significant disruption, resulting in the planet's sudden rupture. Luckily, this was a professional mirror space. If it were true, Earth would have already vanished. This showcased the expertise of Silver Superman. The sheer power of his laughter could obliterate an entire planet. One could argue that the extraordinary abilities of the Silver Superman were highly unusual. He possessed a multitude of plug-ins. The members of the Celestial Group swiftly converged on Naruto, merging with the planet beneath them and transforming into a dazzling display of fireworks that illuminated the vast expanse of the universe. However, Naruto showed no inclination to turn around and acknowledge the explosion. He confidently traversed the vast expanse of the universe, venturing into the depths of space. This mirror space was created by Naruto. It was approximately half the size of the actual universe. The expanse was immense, with countless stars scattered throughout. It was a mystery where the Celestials that Naruto had blown away had disappeared to. Now, Naruto's task was to locate the remaining members of the Celestial Group and eliminate them individually. Right as Naruto was on the verge of utilizing the portal to reach a remaining Celestial, a neighboring planet unexpectedly disintegrated. Then, out of nowhere, a massive cosmic ray struck Naruto with incredible force. The Celestial that was struck by Naruto's powerful punch managed to survive. Instead, he had intentions of launching a surprise attack on Naruto. One punch split the heavens. Naruto quietly murmured to himself. With precision and skill, he gathered strength in his right fist, swiftly unleashing a powerful punch just as the cosmic ray approached. Right after that, the dense cosmic ray was divided straight down the middle. The cosmic ray, which was initially in a straight form, was divided into two equal parts. Naruto's location became the focal point of the split. Prior to the cosmic ray's disappearance, the Celestial, resembling a fearsome beast, had traversed a vast expanse and once again lunged at Naruto. There were no signs of harm on the body of this Celestial. His recovery ability was truly remarkable and awe-inspiring. In addition, his palm, previously injured by Naruto, has now fully healed and developed a menacing bone spike. This bone spike was incredibly sharp, thrusting towards Naruto's chest with great force. Naruto then raised his hand, extending a finger to touch the point of the bone spike. This Celestial was obstructed by only one finger. And Naruto was fully unharmed. This incredibly sharp bone spike has the ability to penetrate through the cosmos. It may even penetrate Asgard. However, it was now obstructed by Naruto's finger and could not go further. At the same time, Naruto's eyes glowed anew, as if two suns were buried within them. Then two extremely hot rays flew out of Naruto's eyes and struck the Celestial. This Celestial couldn't evade them and was struck by Naruto's very scorching rays. As a result, the Celestial's body, which was as hard as the universe's toughest metal, melted. In a matter of seconds, the 8-meter-tall Celestial melted and vanished in front of Naruto, leaving no trace. Too weak. Naruto thought inwardly, bored. He had hoped that these Celestials could provide him with some entertainment, but it turned out that this was not feasible. From beginning to end, it was a terrible fight. A combat in which the Celestials had no ability to fight back. With a single breath, Naruto could eliminate more than half of the Celestial gang. With a clap, the remaining Celestials were killed. As a result, Naruto was unable to determine his true power because he could easily eliminate the Celestial gang. That's correct, Naruto's crazy performances above were merely a warm-up. Otherwise, if he was serious, a single breath would be like a cosmic storm, destroying numerous worlds. A clap in the face would cause tremendous cosmic shocks, causing a galaxy to collapse. If Naruto had chosen to, he could have slain the whole Celestial gang in the least amount of time. Maybe only the 5 great gods can let me know what level of strength I'm at now. Naruto came up with a daring idea. That was a challenge to the 5 gods. Of course, it was only a concept. Naruto has no intention of making this notion a reality just yet. Naruto had only faced one of the 5 gods, Galactus, who had made a lasting effect on him. Naruto was amazed by his capacity to change the universe with a single sweep of his hand. Even though the match ended in a draw, Naruto emerged victorious. Because if the struggle continued, Naruto would only get stronger. Naruto did not have Silver Superman's body template at the time, and his strength was far lower than it is now. Then, Galactus was also beyond its prime at the moment. Based on this, Naruto believed that his present power should be greater than the 5 gods. Naruto didn't know how strong he was yet. He would only be able to answer this question after defeating them. Furthermore, he did not believe that the 5 gods represented the pinnacle battle strength of the Marvel Universe. In reality, they were far from it. There was a court of life above the 5 gods, as well as higher-level cosmic beings like the Nemesis. In addition, there were transcendence gods, and aberrant disciples. And then there was the pinnacle, the one above all. Naruto said that Silver Superman's chances of defeating the one above all were slim. Silver Superman appeared to be immensely powerful in the view of regular people, yet he was not strong enough. Unless Superman was in his ultimate form, thought Robot, he couldn't confront the one above all. Naruto wasn't sure which was more strong, thought Robot Superman or the one above all. Perhaps thought Robot Superman will be able to kill the one above all, or he may die or be killed by the one above all. Who would know if they hadn't tried? The remainder of the story lost its suspense. Faced with unlimited authority, the Celestial group was rendered helpless. Just as Naruto continued to chase and kill these Celestials, the fight on Earth had reached a peak. Thanos relied on the Power Stone and struggled to withstand Healer's blows. The Power Stone was certainly the finest of the 6 Infinity Stones. Despite the tremendous contrast in power between Healer and him, he could still wield the Power Stone to compete with her. Of course, this was when Healer did not use the last 4 Infinity Stones. While Thanos was fighting a terrible struggle, his subordinates gained no benefit. During the fight with the Hulk, Black Dwarf was entirely silenced. Hulk's power increased as he became angrier. The Hulk had recently exceeded the Black Dwarf's strength by becoming angrier. If Black Dwarf's strength was less than his opponent's, he would be unprotected. Black Dwarf had a horrible premonition as Hulk strangled him with his arm during the fight. Instead of allowing Black Dwarf a chance to escape, Hulk grabbed his arm and flung it. He continued to crush him in the surrounding wide area, exactly as Hulk did with Loki in the original narrative. After being battered at random, Black Dwarf's body was already breaking apart. He lay comfortably in the large crater that had been crushed in the earth and gazed at the sky blankly. He was absolutely shocked, to the point that his brain was unable to function properly. Hulk, who had the whole edge, did not give him much time to respond. He gripped the Black Dwarf's neck, preparing to break it. At this point, Ebony Maw rescued Black Dwarf. Ebony Maw waved his palm at Hulk, and his body flew like a lightning bolt. Black Dwarf seized the opportunity to respond and crawled out of the hole in the earth. After scooping up the weapon he had dropped, he yelled and dashed at Hulk. He was still skeptical and did not think that Hulk was stronger than himself. Ebony Maw, after nonchalantly assisting Black Dwarf, looked around the other battlefields. Ebony Maw was the most powerful Obsidian general. Tony, who had previously bothered him, had his entire armor destroyed by him, and he was now laying on the outskirts of the battlefield. The Human Torch was much more unpleasant. Ebony Maw pinned him to the ground with a stone spear that pierced his heart. This was war. It was common for individuals to die in conflict. Furthermore, Naruto modified the storyline totally. The superheroes couldn't escape death. However, aside from Ebony Maw, the other Obsidian generals were in difficulty. General Deathblade could handle Captain America, Black Panther, and Winter Soldier. However, after Doctor Strange came in, General Deathblade was unable to hold on any longer. With the assistance of Doctor Strange, the three of them may be considered to have reached the heavens in a one step. They were able to beat the general to death. Although he could barely hold on, his defeat was already certain. He was going to lose. At this point, Ebony Maw also rushed to his assistance. First, he utilized his telekinesis to manipulate the Winter Soldier, lifting him into mid-air and throwing him violently. Then he sought Doctor Strange and prepared a duel. Doctor Strange was helpless. He could only give up on the General Deathblade and do his best to deal with Ebony's attacks. As for Captain America and Black Panther, after losing two assistants, they were also put at a disadvantage, and they were defeated by General Deathblade without the strength to resist. At this point, the superheroes hadn't reached adulthood. No superhero faced the Obsidian 5 generals in a one-on-one match. There were too many future elites who hadn't matured yet. The present Ebony Maw was a force to be reckoned with among superheroes. On the opposite side, Black Widow, Hawkeye, and Spider-Man were battling Proxima Midnight. Proxima Midnight was by far the worst of the 5 Obsidian generals. Her combat ability was lower to that of General Deathblade. Her might was inferior to that of the Black Dwarf, and her energy was weaker than that of the Supernova. There was no need to compare her to Ebony Maw. Even the weakest Obsidian general could defeat her 3 opponents. Black Widow and Hawkeye were meant to be superheroes, but to put it simply, they were ordinary people. They may be capable of playing a significant role in some scenarios, but they are clearly insufficient in a face-to-face confrontation. If Peter Parker Spider-Man hadn't been so powerful, the Proxima Midnight would have murdered both of them already. The present Spider-Man was unquestionably more powerful than the one in the original narrative. Spider-Man would still attend school in the original story, and he was not someone who had been through so much. However, this Peter Parker was persecuted due to the Ultron tragedy. Even though he had been injured, it had allowed Peter Parker to gain more experience and realize more of his potential. As a consequence, Peter Parker almost tied with the Proxima Midnight. Even if he was periodically suppressed, it was due to his inexperience. Otherwise, he outperformed Proxima Midnight in terms of strength. The final supernova among the 5 Obsidian generals has already died, because his opponent was Captain Marvel. When the war reached this point, Captain Marvel no longer concealed her power. She immediately entered the double star form and shattered the supernova. After dealing with a supernova, Captain Marvel was unconcerned with the struggle of the superheroes. Instead, she cared for the many Vanguard soldiers. In terms of high-end fighting power, Earth still had certain advantages. However, at the grassroots level, the Earth's army was entirely defeated. The formidable Vanguard troops, with fierce determination, charged towards the Earth's army. It is believed that either the advanced weaponry used by the humans caused their demise, or they managed to infiltrate the crowd and eliminate a significant number of soldiers. From the beginning of the conflict, the military forces of Earth had exhibited indications of weakening. If there was no assistance provided to these troops, they would ultimately become prey for the Vanguard monsters. And once these troops were eliminated, the remaining superheroes would find themselves completely isolated and vulnerable. One could argue that the current situation on the battlefield was already favoring the Vanguard troops. Meanwhile, the Fantastic Four and other superheroes were providing valuable assistance to Earth's military, alleviating some of the pressure. Otherwise, if the Earth's army was completely defeated, their fate would be far from favorable. Unexpectedly, the battle continued in a way that caught everyone off guard. As time went on, Thanos began to experience increasing unease. Thanos anticipated the Celestial Group to swiftly handle Naruto and subsequently aid him in acquiring the Infinity Stones from Hela. Despite his anticipation, there was no update regarding the Celestial Group and Naruto, leaving the outcome of their situation uncertain. Simultaneously, the celestial group that was expected to assist him in retrieving the Infinity Stones from Hela had inexplicably failed to show up. Consequently, he found himself confronting Hela all by himself. Witnessing Hela's relentless assault, Thanos was consumed by anger. He had made a commitment to the celestial group to refrain from using the Power Stone in a way that would cause harm to Earth. However, he no longer had any reservations. Another scar marred his chest as Hela effortlessly sent him hurtling through the air once more. Thanos displayed a remarkable lack of fear. He lifted his left hand, and the purple Power Stone on his gauntlet emitted a brilliant glow. Then, the moon, which was at a significant distance from Earth, was abruptly surrounded by a vibrant purple energy. The moon shattered abruptly as Thanos effortlessly waved his hand. Following the cataclysmic event of the moon's explosion, the fragments were irresistibly drawn by the Power Stone, hurtling towards Earth. In that instant, all individuals on the battlefield ceased their activities and gazed up at the sky with a vacant expression. The moon, which had been completely shattered, was reflected in their eyes. "The moon, it has disappeared," someone said in a state of confusion, unable to accept this fact. Naturally, it was an indescribable shock. Even the superheroes were utterly perplexed. Regardless of the severity of the previous war, it was merely a display of desperation rather than something unimaginable. Given the level of foresight they possessed, it seemed as though every event that unfolded during the war had been meticulously planned. Thanos had just obliterated the moon. They were all taken by surprise, never anticipating such an event. It's surprising how a major conflict on Earth can have an impact on the moon. Indeed, during the Avengers 3 conflict, Thanos carried out comparable actions. Nevertheless, it was the moon that remained untouched, while Thanos wreaked havoc on a satellite of Saturn. However, due to Naruto's intervention, the Earth was currently embroiled in the intense conflict of Avengers 3 war. Consequently, the moon was shattered by Thanos and hurled towards Earth. Those who were undoubtedly the most surprised were individuals seeking refuge underground. The destruction of the moon brought about a profound realization of the enemy's true terror, despite the lack of personal experience. This was far from a straightforward experience, much more complex than an extraterrestrial invasion. There is a possibility of complete destruction of the entire planet. It was widely recognized worldwide that the moon had been destroyed due to the actions of Thanos. And this was a constant source of concern, a looming danger that could strike at any time. This was far from being the most terrifying experience. The most alarming aspect was that the fragmented remnants of the moon were on a collision course with Earth. This was a truly devastating event of extinction, resulting in consequences that were even more horrific than a meteorite impact. This was a collision that occurred between two planets. Thanos displayed an excessive level of ruthlessness. Upon realizing that he no longer had control over the situation, he swiftly overturned the table and ceased participating. He employed a method involving the collision of the moon with Earth to eradicate all forms of life on the planet's surface. In the face of the cataclysmic collision of two planets, there was no escape for humanity. At this moment, even the most secure underground shelters became meaningless. Upon witnessing this scene, Hela fell silent, although she didn't view it as a grave matter. Thanos clearly lost his sanity. It should be noted that it was not feasible to reverse the situation using this approach. A significant issue. Captain Marvel, with a sense of expertise, also gazed up into the sky and softly murmured. With determination, she clenched her jaw and soared into the sky. Effortlessly, she saw beyond the confines of Earth's atmosphere and ventured into the vast expanse of space. Upon entering space, Captain Marvel was greeted by the haunting sight of the moon's shattered remnants, being inexorably drawn towards Earth by an unseen and powerful force. If these remains were not addressed, the survival of human beings on Earth would be in serious jeopardy. Without any delay, Captain Marvel unleashed her full power. She transformed into a radiant beam of light and gracefully soared towards the fragmented remnants of the moon. Before long, Captain Marvel found herself floating in space, with the wreckage of the moon just a short distance away. The smallest of these wrecks was likely the size of a house. However, the larger ones were similar in size to certain medium-sized countries on Earth. Given the extensive damage, urgent action was necessary to prevent a catastrophic outcome for our planet. In order to preserve the Earth, it was imperative to minimize the extent of this destruction. Only then, there is a possibility for humanity to survive. After careful consideration, Captain Marvel swiftly made up their mind. She harnessed her full potential and a dazzling display of radiance emanated from her, creating a truly awe-inspiring sight. Then Captain Marvel unleashed a powerful energy beam towards the largest fragment of the moon's debris. With precision and efficiency, it struck its intended mark without hesitation. Then the wreckage of the moon, which was of considerable size, shattered in space. It was shattered into countless pieces under the powerful energy ray of Captain Marvel. After completing this task, Captain Marvel felt a sense of relief knowing that the most significant danger had been eliminated. Nevertheless, numerous remnants of the moon still posed a significant threat to Earth. Captain Marvel understood the importance of remaining focused and determined. With unwavering determination, Captain Marvel swiftly launched a relentless assault on the remaining fragments of the moon. Very few individuals were aware of Captain Marvel's accomplishments. Only a select few countries have the privilege of witnessing this breathtaking scene from astronomical satellites. Regarding regular individuals, all they could observe was the sky changing to a shade of red. The sky, previously hidden by ominous clouds, unexpectedly transformed into a peculiar shade of red. The sky appeared to be ablaze, with clouds seemingly consumed by fire. Eventually, the truth became apparent to everyone. An expertly crafted celestial body, damaged and descending with a fiery trail, pierced through the layer of ominous clouds and made its way towards the planet. A meteorite, and one that was of significant magnitude, similar to that of a large stadium. Upon impact, the destructive potential of this meteorite rivaled that of a hydrogen bomb. And this was only the start. Following the initial sighting of a meteorite, a continuous stream of these celestial objects continued to manifest in the sky. Within a brief span, the sky became filled with a multitude of meteorites and engulfed in flames. The sky was filled with a fiery red hue at the moment. This felt like a powerful and decisive judgment, as if a force from above was determined to obliterate the Earth. Undoubtedly, all of these meteorites were the remnants of the moon that were descending upon Earth. And it was the outcome of Captain Marvel's hard work. Otherwise, instead of meteors falling from the sky, people would have witnessed a colossal planetary collision symbolizing devastation. Despite Captain Marvel's successful intervention, the collision of the planets was narrowly averted. However, a significant number of meteorites would still result in catastrophic events. This was an unstoppable force that Captain Marvel couldn't prevent. She had already accomplished a significant amount. She was on her own and struggled to manage everything on her own. The moon had broken into pieces. Can you please provide the total number of pieces? It was a vast number. Captain Marvel couldn't handle the situation on their own. Upon witnessing the meteorites that filled the sky, all individuals on the battlefield came to a halt, their gazes fixed upon the imminent disaster overhead. Whether it was humans or the vanguard troops, a sense of impending doom hung in the air. Humanity, it's finished! Nick Fury surveyed the multitude of meteorites before him, his mind filled with astonishment. He was skeptical until now. He was taken aback by the outcome. Prior to the commencement of the conflict, Nick Fury was well aware that this particular battle would pose significant challenges. Despite Captain Marvel's return to Earth, Nick Fury was bracing himself for failure. In the most dire circumstances, a significant portion of the Earth's population would face devastating losses. Nevertheless, the sight that lay before Nick Fury surpassed anything he could have ever envisioned. It was a highly disappointing ending, far worse than anyone could have anticipated. Initially, only a fraction of the population would perish, but now, it's a miracle if any living being manages to survive on the surface of Earth. Although life on the surface may not have perished directly from meteorite impacts, the subsequent chain of geological catastrophes would still result in a widespread extinction event. Following the impact of meteorites, the Earth would experience a series of significant seismic events, massive floods, powerful tsunamis, and intense volcanic activity. Furthermore, the meteorite's impact will release an immense amount of dust into the sky, creating a barrier in the atmosphere that obstructs sunlight. It would be accompanied by an everlasting night that could endure for tens of thousands of years or possibly even longer. Then, in the event of a global ice age, the Earth would be blanketed by ice layers measuring over 1 kilometer in thickness. Every living organism on the surface would perish, including even the tiniest bacteria. Ultimately, only a small fraction of the deep-sea organisms will manage to endure. This was a significant event, far more severe than the one that occurred 65 million years ago. It's finished. Recognizing the potential of humanity, Nick Fury closed his eyes in anguish. This meteorite fall would mark the conclusion of the journey of human civilization. At this moment, Hayla also glanced up at the countless meteorites above her head. With a powerful roar, it seemed as though malevolent forces were descending one by one. It appears that in the future, the 9 realms may exclude Earth from their roster. In close proximity to Hayla, Thanos grasped his wounded chest and uttered with feebleness. He caused immense destruction to the moon, resulting in countless disasters on Earth. However, he suffered a severe injury from Hayla, which greatly weakened his life force. Nevertheless, Thanos showed no concern for his injuries. Instead, he taunted Hayla, aiming to incite her fury. Even to this day, Thanos remained steadfast in his pursuit of his ideals. Nevertheless, Hayla's demeanor remained composed, unaffected by Thanos' words. Mistakes often come with consequences that individuals must face. However, if I make a mistake, I simply need to redo it. Hayla spoke with a sense of superiority, and simultaneously, the time stone gleamed in her grasp. Maybe for others, the situation in front of them seemed hopeless. However, Hayla was confident that any mistake could be rectified. Thanos also noticed the time stone in Hayla's possession. A hint of avarice flickered in his gaze, but he swiftly repressed it. Above all, he found himself in a dire predicament. He lacked the necessary qualifications to continue battling Hayla any further. Helplessly, he could only observe as Hayla grasped the time stone, determined to rectify this error. Mistakes hold no significance for me. Hayla exerted a gentle touch as she pushed the time stone to its absolute boundaries. In the next moment, everything came to a standstill. As the meteorite neared the ground, its immense power caused the ground to collapse, creating a catastrophic event. Everything was completely still. Then an enchanting scene unfolded. These meteorites soared into the sky with an intense and fiery display. It felt as if a video was being played in reverse. Everything was starting over. Many meteorites streaked through the Earth's atmosphere, leaving a trail of flames in their wake as they passed by Captain Marvel. At a certain juncture in space, numerous fragments of the moon came together to form a colossal piece resembling the size of a country. Ultimately, the countless fragments retraced their origin and found their way back to the spot where the moon had once resided. Many pieces were expertly assembled, appearing as if they were seamlessly joined with the highest quality adhesive available. A flawlessly preserved moon materialized. Only after completing all the necessary tasks did the previously stagnant time of the world resume its natural course. It's just that the sky that was recently ablaze no longer had a hint of crimson. The meteorites that once fell from the sky like a divine judgment have disappeared from sight. All traces vanished, as if the previous scene of annihilation had been nothing more than a fleeting illusion. Amidst the chaos of the battlefield, the superheroes remained perplexed, searching for answers. They were unable to comprehend the recent events. Where were all the meteorites? They were at a higher level. Why did they suddenly vanish? Additionally, have they been saved now? Nick Fury maintained a consistent demeanor. Despite his lack of knowledge about the events that occurred during the frozen time. Fortunately, the catastrophic meteorite event that posed a threat to humanity appears to have passed. Nick Fury breathed a sigh of relief. Regardless of the recent events, as long as humanity was spared, it can be considered a positive outcome. People from all over the world also celebrated. This was a world of the Marvel Universe, where individuals embraced the unknown with open minds. They were unaware of the events that had just transpired, but they were relieved to be rescued once more. They would continue to celebrate for as long as they could. That was the general consensus among individuals. Regarding one of the individuals involved, upon witnessing the green light emanating from Healer's hand and the subsequent disappearance of the meteorites, he instinctively grasped the situation at hand. He let out a small sigh and experienced a hint of annoyance for the first time. He came to the realization that failure was a potential outcome. Initially, he had planned to resist fiercely. Despite not emerging victorious, his goal was to inflict suffering upon Healer. However, his counterattack ended up being quite laughable. Healer possessed 4 Infinity Stones and possessed immense power of her own. Regardless of Thanos' actions, he would inevitably face defeat in the end. Considering this, Thanos pondered Naruto. What were those individuals of high expertise doing? This was not at all what they had promised. Did they promise to hand over the Infinity Stones once Naruto was defeated? Why didn't they honor their commitment? Thanos' heart was consumed by a deep sense of resentment. He strongly disliked the Celestial group. Prior to their arrival, they were boasting, but ultimately, it proved to be futile. Since Naruto's departure, they have yet to make an appearance. He was unable to endure any longer. Unbeknownst to him, Naruto was in hot pursuit of the scattered Celestials within his mirror space. In the mirror space, Naruto was highly skilled and revered. He had the ability to acquire all the knowledge he desired and explore any destination of his choosing. Naruto's proficiency in pursuing and eliminating the Celestial group was remarkably high, resulting in a rapid succession of Celestial casualties. When the final few Celestials were ready to fall at Naruto's hands, a massive figure emerged in the starry sky alongside him. It was unclear what it looked like because only the outline was visible. It had a human appearance, but its body was made up of stars and energy. It had to be mentioned that this was a weird existence. Naruto noticed the advent of this strange presence as soon as it arrived. He immediately upped his guard, since this was not good. There were few beings in the Marvel Universe that could access this mirror area without Naruto's permission. Even Yao, the Sorcerer Supreme who taught Naruto the mirror space magic in the beginning, was unable to do this. This was most likely one of the 5 greatest gods. Eventually, the intruder spoke out and introduced himself. I am Eternity, one of the 5 gods, and the founder of the Celestial group. This is our first meeting, outsider. Eternity talked with Naruto and revealed his true identity all at once. This was the first person in the Marvel Universe to know Naruto's identity. Naruto didn't think this unusual. He didn't even care about this issue. When Naruto initially arrived, he was extremely concerned about his identity, fearing that it would lead to calamity. But now he had no anxieties at all. Because he had enough strength to defend himself. Even if the 5 gods realized he was an outsider, what could they do? It appears that you are unable to endure me. Not alone did the Celestial troop arrive, but you, Eternity, also arrived personally. Naruto spoke harshly to Eternity. He showed no regard for one of the 5 gods. However, Naruto possessed the requirements for arrogance. Naruto's remarks did not bother Eternity. He still had that frigid expression. Your presence will bring the entire universe to an unknowable conclusion. You are an outsider who should not be in this world. We did not perceive you in cause and effect. You have conquered this planet. Eternity replied coldly. He was like a robot with a set of programming, repeating meaningless sentences. It felt strange, but Naruto wasn't bothered. So, will you murder me now? You can try if you want. Naruto was not very courteous either. He did not degrade himself simply because he was meeting one of the 5 gods. With his power, he was perfectly capable of saying no to them. At least, they'd have to dispute about who killed who. If you're not willing to cooperate, I don't mind killing you. You have a choice: follow our rules or become one of us. I can make you the 6th god and let you enjoy our glory. Or we can go to war, remove you as an outsider, and put this universe back on its original course. Eternity's statements were likewise quite disrespectful. He did not intend to confront Naruto. Naruto could see just 2 ways ahead of him. One for life, one for death. Naruto's life path involved joining them and becoming the universe's sixth deity. From then on, he would have infinite splendor. The journey to death involved fighting the 5 gods and other higher beings till death. Naruto made a snap decision and picked the second option without hesitation. He had no intention of becoming a deity, much less the 6th god. It appeared like being a 6th deity would bring him recognition and dignity. However, it was only a veiled command. When the time came, the 5 gods would write the universe's screenplay, and he would have no choice but to accept it. Furthermore, Naruto was born with hard bones and cannot kneel. In the system, he would have to compromise. That's why it was a waste. As a result, Naruto made a snap decision without giving it any thought. It seems that you will need to think carefully about how to kill me. But at the very least, you will not be able to do anything to me with just this one clone. Naruto glanced at Eternity's clone with disgust. Yes, the person talking to Naruto was not Eternity himself, but rather one of his clones. However, Eternity's clone was not weak. After all, Eternity was among the 5 gods. Even if it was simply a clone, it was powerful enough to destroy a whole universe. Eternity's clone did not speak much, but he did have his own arrogance. Naruto had nothing further to say because he did not confront him. He resolved to simply annihilate him and go back. The cosmos had been around for a long time, yet the 5 gods remained constant. To retain their rank, the 5 gods depended solely on their ultimate might. Over the years, the 5 gods faced several challenges, but who would remember them? Eternity saw Naruto as no exception. Perhaps he was little stronger than the usual competitor. But so what? Finally, the 5 gods would be immortal. Without hesitation, Eternity assaulted Naruto. His hand, made up of stars and energy, grasped in the air. Then Naruto felt as if an unending expanse was pressing him. It seemed as if numerous dimensional universes had come together at this moment to construct a massive cage that imprisoned him. As one of the 5 gods, Eternity had dominion over all of the known abilities. He could easily build innumerable spatial realms, none of which would be worse than Dormammu's dark dimension. Such power was beyond the imagination of regular people. This was the true might of the 5 gods. They used all of the universe's laws and regulations as their weapons. When confronted with Eternity's strong strike, Naruto remained composed. Instead, a crazy smile formed at the corner of his mouth. He wasn't terrified, but rather delighted. It felt exciting to face an opponent after such a long period. Naruto even felt as if countless cells in his body were on fire right now. This was termed battle intent. Faced with Eternity's strike, the 3 templates' fighting instincts were aroused. I long for a worthy opponent. Naruto pondered slowly to himself. How long has it been? Naruto had no idea how long he hadn't been this excited. In the past, he was only passionate when he was with Hayla. Naruto understood that there was no difficulty he couldn't tackle. He was so powerful that he could do anything he pleased. But now, confronting Eternity, Naruto felt a little strain. He was excited about meeting an opponent and the realization that someone could finally battle him. It was cool to bully people, but if you kept bullying them, it would eventually become dull. Naruto wished to encounter a worthy opponent on occasion. Fortunately, Eternity's clone appeared formidable. Naruto's vision progressively brightened as he saw that numerous dimensions had come together to build a dimensional cage that would lock him. Then Naruto stopped repressing his body's strength and fully released it. An unimaginably frightening energy surge erupted, with Naruto at its core. This method worked on the same concept as Naruto's previous usage of the Crimson Sun. However, the first 2 times he performed this maneuver, he took it slow and did not employ his entire strength. Otherwise, not only would the Earth have been destroyed, but the entire solar system. Naruto was no longer concerned about such a thing. Compared to his prior power, which was similar to a nuclear explosion, Naruto's energy discharge this time was nearly equivalent to a galaxy explosion. The produced scary energy surge raced straight and violently towards Naruto's dimensional prison. The cage, which had multiple dimensions, was then blasted apart by Naruto's energy discharge. Dimensions separated one after another, as if balloons were being ruptured. In a relatively short amount of time, the prison of infinite dimensions shattered. Naruto, who had just been sealed by eternity with numerous realities, was able to simply break free and appear in front of her. Naruto just didn't have his usual calm demeanor. His lovely face was full of perseverance, and his eyes shone like two suns. All of his muscles were packed with explosive force. Naruto looked like the god of the world now. "Come again!" Naruto didn't say anything, but with a faint yell, he charged at Eternity's clone. The minute Naruto acted, time seemed to stop. Naruto might even glimpse into several timelines. Naruto could easily go to the past or future by following these timelines. But Naruto didn't care. Instead, he dashed at Eternity's clone. Naruto would absolutely murder Eternity's clone today, regardless of what. Eternity's clone's expression remained frigid as he peered at the flying Naruto. Eternity's clone could match Naruto's speed and even stop time. This time, the clone did not alter the infinite dimensions again. He lifted his right hand and smacked it down on Naruto. From Naruto's perspective, it appeared as an old starry sky was about to smash him. It was so overpowering that there was no place to hide. But Naruto didn't even consider hiding. Instead, he confronted the situation full-on. "Kunjin, Kaiten." Naruto muttered softly in his head while using the talent supplied by the system. This talent was supposed to originate from the Shinju tablet, also known as Kunjin Kaiten. This talent became more potent as the user's strength increased. And when Naruto applied this talent, the results were nothing short of terrifying. Naruto suspected that this punch had the potential to kill half of the universe. Without hesitation, Naruto blasted his fist into the starry sky. Then there was a terrible crash in an instant. Like the Big Bang, infinite light and heat were created in an instant. The outcome of this encounter had an impact on Naruto, who flew away. Who knows how far he was tossed and how many planets he crushed until he could hardly control his body. Eternity was everlasting, and the five gods had incredible might. Despite being a clone, Naruto was unable to exploit the situation. Nevertheless, Naruto emerged unscathed without a single injury. Contrary to expectations, Naruto's body underwent another evolution as a result of this collision. After the intense clash subsided, Naruto observed the condition of the Eternity's clone. The condition was significantly worse than Naruto's. The force of Naruto's punch collided with the celestial energy contained within its palm. A single blow shattered a portion of the celestial expanse. The force of Naruto's punch was so powerful that it seemed to tear through the very fabric of the sky. The clone of Eternity remained stoic, yet a hint of concern crossed his face as he examined his palm. The absence of half of the palm made him realize that Naruto could prove to be more challenging to handle than he initially anticipated. However, he showed no signs of fear. His professional and detached gaze once again fell upon Naruto. God declared, "Let there be light in the universe." The clone of Eternity spoke in a measured tone. In an instant, the brilliance of the stars surrounding us faded away. Every corner of the universe was engulfed in an impenetrable darkness, devoid of any trace of light. Naruto remained vigilant, fully aware that this was a cunning ploy by Eternity. Indeed, a radiant light unexpectedly emerged from behind Naruto. A spear of blinding speed shot forth from the light, aimed directly at Naruto, piercing through the very fabric of the universe. Naruto was completely unresponsive. This light spear was incredibly fast. Consequently, Naruto's body was pierced by the light spear. It entered him from behind and exited through his chest. Naruto was taken aback, his gaze fixated on his chest. He was acutely aware of the discomfort emanating from his body, indicating an injury. "It's been quite some time since I last experienced any discomfort." Indeed, rather than feeling angry, Naruto experienced a tinge of nostalgia. Upon acquiring the body template of General Zod, Naruto discovered that while he had indeed increased his power, he also experienced significant losses. As an illustration, pain. Due to Naruto's exceptional abilities, it was incredibly challenging to come across anything that posed a threat to him. Following the acquisition of the ancient Doomsday and Silver Superman body template, Naruto's power reached new heights. He experienced no pain whatsoever, to such an extent that Naruto had completely lost touch with the sensation of pain. Only now did Naruto recall the true nature of this experience, one filled with injury and pain. Then Naruto firmly grasped the spear embedded in his chest and forcefully removed it. Blood splattered out instantly, yet Naruto's expression remained unchanged. Contrary to expectations, once the light spear was removed, Naruto's wound started healing rapidly. The ancient Doomsday body template bestowed upon Naruto not just boundless evolution, but also an unparalleled capacity for recovery. Even if his body was completely destroyed, Naruto had the ability to return from death and be revived. What was the experience of being pierced through the chest like, in comparison to coming back from the dead? Right as Naruto was about to take a moment to rest, an increasing number of luminous spears materialized around him. Then, with precision and speed, they lunged towards Naruto. Similar to previous encounters, Naruto was unable to evade the attack, resulting in the piercing of his body by the light spears. These light spears transformed Naruto into a hedgehog in a matter of seconds. Naruto was unaware of the multitude of light spears piercing his body. The density of light spears was so overwhelming that individuals with severe phobias could potentially experience extreme distress upon witnessing it. Simultaneously, as Naruto sustained increasingly severe injuries, his physical form began to fade away. These light spears had the ability to pierce through Naruto's body and cause damage to his flesh and blood. However, Naruto remained indifferent. Instead, his eyes grew increasingly radiant. However, in the next moment, his eyes were suddenly struck by two intense beams of light. After Naruto was enveloped in a brilliant sphere of light, the relentless barrage of luminous spears finally ceased. Currently, one could argue that Naruto met a tragic fate at the hands of Eternity's clone, ultimately vanishing from existence in this universe. The target has been eliminated, marking the end of the battle. After witnessing this outcome, Eternity's clone remarked in a detached manner. Then his body started to disappear. He had plans to depart from this location. Nevertheless, the movement of Eternity's clone abruptly halted, and he gazed at the white light ball with a hint of perplexity. He sensed the imminent arrival of a formidable entity. In the following instant, the luminous sphere was ripped apart from within, releasing an array of shimmering particles in all directions. As Naruto confidently navigated through the illuminated patches and empty spaces, he made his way forward. Naruto possessed an eternal existence. Fortunately, Eternity's clone was unable to harm him. Put simply, not even the most powerful deities could eliminate Naruto. Perhaps only the most formidable authority in existence, or the one above all, could possibly stand a chance. Any assault that failed to eliminate Naruto would only serve to enhance his resilience. Similar to the present moment, Naruto sensed a significant increase in his strength. He was killed at one point, but he was soon brought back to life. And following his resurrection, his physical strength had increased, and he had undergone further development. The primary factor that led to ancient Doomsday becoming the ultimate life form was its remarkable evolutionary nature. Life for the ancient Doomsday followed a cycle consisting of 3 stages: death, overcoming death, and evolution. Being eliminated would result in the ancient Doomsday's resurrection and fulfillment of its evolution. Eternity's clone was unaware of this fact, but it didn't deter him from recognizing that Naruto was incredibly resilient to defeat. An individual who possessed an invincible nature and the ability to constantly progress was an exceedingly formidable adversary for any being. Currently, Naruto made a move. He gazed upon the replica of Eternity before him and spoke in a measured tone. "I believe that there ought to be illumination in the world. The light that is mine." Indeed, Naruto employed a similar technique to that of Eternity's clone. Treat others the way you would like to be treated. Naruto acquired this skill through his growth and development. As soon as Naruto finished speaking, darkness once again enveloped the entire universe. The entire universe seemed to align with Naruto, obeying his every command. Once again, the previous scene was reenacted. However, this time, the focus was on Eternity's clone. A radiant glow enveloped Eternity's figure. These light spears were different from the ones that had previously dealt with Naruto. The length of each light spear was incredibly vast, like that of a galaxy. Under Naruto's leadership, the light spears swiftly charged towards Eternity's clone. Eternity's clone would never remain idle, eagerly defying the inevitability of death. With a confident gesture, he effortlessly conjured an infinite number of dimensional worlds. The dimensional worlds transformed into an infinite galaxy, surrounding the radiant spears of light. Consequently, the light spears and Eternity's clone remained perpetually separated by an immeasurable expanse. Impressive, just as one would expect from one of the five gods. Despite being a mere clone, Eternity's power surpassed Naruto's wildest expectations. Even Naruto was struggling, facing such a formidable opponent. Once more, Naruto found himself under assault from Eternity's clone. Eternity extended his hand and confidently shook it in the void, facing Naruto. Then Naruto sensed a formidable force approaching him. He seemed to have been struck by a card that reduced him to 2 dimensions. There was a formidable power that was unseen and immeasurable, and it sought to overpower and defeat Naruto. It felt as though a flat, compressed card was attempting to flatten Naruto like paper. However, Eternity's move proved to be far superior to the reduction card's 2-dimensional capabilities. The reduction card was a basic attack, while the Eternity strike was a powerful blow. Given Naruto's impressive strength, it was a trivial task to withstand the 2-dimensional reduction card. However, he faced the challenge of resisting the reduction of numerous dimensions. Regardless of the dimension Naruto found himself in, he would inevitably encounter a formidable dimensional reduction attack. The intense pressure had a profound effect on Naruto's physique. One part of his body transformed into a sheet of paper, while another part of his body transitioned into the digital realm. Certain components rapidly diminished and transformed into an infinitesimally minuscule dot. Simply put, Naruto appeared as an inexplicable creature and bore no resemblance to a human being. Naruto experienced intense discomfort. He experienced a sensation of his body being fragmented into numerous parts. However, Naruto couldn't help but sense that his body's evolutionary instinct was rapidly stirring. His physical transformation was about to commence once more. The moves of Eternity were undeniably intimidating. If others experienced these attacks, the outcome could have been fatal. The disparity in strength was simply insurmountable. Nevertheless, Naruto not only withstood Eternity's ultimate attack and emerged unscathed, but he also achieved yet another level of transformation. After undergoing a complete transformation, Naruto's body reverted back to its original form. The dimensional reduction attack launched by Eternity had no impact on him. Even if Eternity had the ability to manipulate dimensions and reduce them at will. However, when faced with Naruto, an unstoppable force, all of his efforts appeared insignificant. Unless Naruto's concept of immortality could be completely eradicated, no one would have any chance of defeating him. Perhaps only the highest authority could eliminate such a notion. At a minimum, the 5 deities were unable to accomplish this. By this stage, even Eternity was finding it challenging to eliminate him. He couldn't come up with any method to eliminate Naruto. In addition, he no longer had any opportunity either. Once Naruto completed his latest evolution, he confidently advanced, traversing numerous dimensions, until he materialized before Eternity. Standing confidently at the pinnacle of his career, he gazed directly into the eyes of his counterpart. "Now, it's my turn to defeat you." Naruto's expression was serious as he addressed Eternity. Naruto always refused to be defeated without putting up a fight. Eternity had taken his life on 2 previous occasions. How could Naruto allow him to escape once he had become powerful? It should be within his capabilities to eliminate Eternity once. This was something that could make Naruto's adversaries desperate. They may have attempted to eliminate Naruto multiple times, but he only had to defeat them once. Stay tuned for more.
And that's a wrap, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you enjoyed it, I appreciate your support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video.